Together with Franz and Paula, we had the 20th or 25th filming day or transit, and we were sitting in that pizzeria called Momentou, and we then had to say goodbye. And, when you say goodbye to these locations where you shot a film and where you've had nice experiences, you tend to become sentimental. And we were sitting around the table and I told them the story of Undine. Then we were sitting at the pizzeria Momentou and I improvised those couple of lines. And while improvising, and because of the fact that I like these two people as actors, actresses, and as people, of course, I also thought that, this is the improvisation that felt like a jazz jam session. And then I actually thought that, we have to construct this underwater world. Because once you start working with the computer people, doing it in CGI alone, then it looks dead, basically. And then 3 weeks later, it will be on a cheap television channel like Tele5 in Germany. No, we had a connection to Christian via radio, but we could just really dive away into our own element. And, it was not possible to have these long monologues about all kinds of subjects that the world has to offer, but that we were really in our own element and there to be unto ourselves. And Christian almost lost it up there.
To me, it's new to play people who have a particular profession, and that was quite interesting, because you're wondering, who's the character, who's Undine, who organizes these guided tours. And I like the idea very much, because Undine, in a way, is a serial killer. This is a story which is really old. She's been around for 600 years in the city, and therefore she knows the ins and outs of the city. And this is why she can really work very well as a guided tour, because she knows the city so well.
I also need to already have seen the areas where this story would take place. And later on, when we do the preparatory work with the actors, we went to Wuppertal, to Remscheid, we looked at the different locations, even before we turned it into a film set. This has something to do with the fact that you show the world some respect. You have to somehow, position yourself vis-a-vis to the world. And when I'm in Kreuzberg, for example, and I ride my bike there, and then I see people doing a movie there, and they block the street and, behave like imperialists, shitty imperialists, to be honest, that is something that really gets on my nerves, because we try to behave decently in Marseille. We did not block the streets, and we did not, occupy the city the second time round as Germans, and that's, I think, how you should be making movies. And that's also how I try to work with the actors and actresses. After writing my story, I meet the people who might be the ones to play the roles, and then we talk about that, and that's when I can actually start writing.
There is something sleeping in everything that you see, but you make things sing. And I thought, well, this is where you can make things sing in movies and in fairy tales as well. One of the critics after the Jericho movie said, no song is resting in each and every part because capitalism demystifies the world. Our dreams float around somewhere as plastic waste. And this is what happens when fairy tales and reality clash. Then the fairy tales once again manage to create magic for 90 minutes when wishes were still so important to keep you alive. And that's also a very political statement, mind you.